Bells and bobtail ring, making spirit bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride. As soon as Fanny Bride was seated by my side, the horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed to slide. We got into a drifting bank and then we got upset. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors come in to see just a boy. Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Today is Thursday, December the 24th, and it's 7:03 a.m. Central Time in Jefferson City, Missouri. How's everybody feeling today? Have you been a good little boy or girl this year? What'd you guys ask Santa for Christmas? I think I asked for like a couple of things. I don't even really remember, but I know I asked for like a sound bar for the TV, I think something like that, and maybe just like a couple of chargers for my Xbox controllers, you know what I mean? So I don't have to keep going and wasting batteries and all that kind of stuff like that. Nice to see you here today. What's happening, Brandon Meyer, Locos 0422, Barney Styles, how's everybody doing? Grant Sunnyman joining us live, JJ, great to see you as well. KV Andy, John Knox, Floby Tenderson, it wouldn't be a show without Floby. Of course, Camelia Peterson joining us here, along with Matt Unruh, Kermode Bear, David Lee, and Solorio. Good morning, good morning. We appreciate all of our friends joining us so bright and early. May your days be merry and bright. Oh, wait, I saved the karaoke for tomorrow when my lovely wife, Stephanie Peterson, my smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife, will be joining us in studio. We will be doing karaoke tomorrow. And we will have another surprise special guest as well who will be joining us for karaoke. Oh, yes. But I'm not going to tell you who it is. Don't be mad, Greta. We're all going to have fun and we'll all enjoy and kiss under the mistletoe. Nice to see you guys. Okay, what you're seeing, Austin already, says Gwolkos. Yes, I'm already here. Javier is already taken, but if Camelia met him under the mistletoe, she just might want to cheat. Okay, we've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, Javier Milei is on the list, cutting hundreds of regulations. Oh, after already shutting down major aspects of the Argentinian government. Why can't we have this here? I keep joking, Mom, can we please have Javier Milei? And they're like, no, we have Javier Milei at home. And then when you see Javier Milei at home, it's Joe Biden.
God!
Yeah.
No, God, please, no! No! No!
It's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. Gwolkos says he's going to help serve the Christmas deal at the Beaches area mission this year. That's cool. Stephanie, good morning. Thanks for joining us here live today. We've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we are working on a lot of great content and tips this morning. I'm sorry, I've got like a technical issue going on today, so I'm behind the scenes. I'm like dealing with a chat agent, so I can hopefully have something working for you later in the show. So I'm like chatting with like a support agent right now while this is going on. So I'll tell you what, I've got a bunch of clips for you. Obviously, I always pull the latest and greatest in the news. So why don't we just go to that so I can play for you what I've pulled. Oh, you want to see some Javier Milei? Oh, not yet. We're going to wait until 8:30 a.m. Central Time this morning. I want to talk about Donald Trump in Iowa. Kellyanne Conway, his former press secretary, always has some good zingers. This one yesterday really blew me away. Take a listen to this.
Trump on those grounds, or that he's been convicted. So it is in doubt. And when you look at what I just think the Democrats wake up every morning, Emily, and they look at the calendar. The iPhone says January 6, 2021. The date never changes. And then they get an electric vehicle and go get an abortion. I just described the Democratic Party to you.
What? What did she just say? Okay, so I thought, like, when I first watched this clip, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's funny, ha. Every day the Democrats wake up and it's January 6th on their phones, and then they go get in their electric car and they get an abortion." Like,
How dare
what?
you?
Oh, that's pretty cold, Kellyanne Conway. Can we just hear that one more
Wake
time?
up every morning, Emily, and they look at the calendar. The iPhone says January 6, 2021. The date never changes. And then they get an electric vehicle and go get an abortion. I just described the Democratic Party to you in 7 seconds. That's it. That's what I say. But it's Trump.
Oh my God,
on
that's
those
funny
grounds,
stuff. Let's
or
give it
that
up
he's
for
been
Kellyanne
convicted.
Conway
So
there.
it is-
They get in their electric car, they go get an abortion. Camelia wants to get a Javier clip for her segment. No, because when Camelia comes on later, when Camelia comes on the show later, we're going to talk to her about the youths turning against Social Security. I know, don't freak out. But young people more and more are seeing it as something that it's time for us to get rid of. Don't you love to see it? Uh, Brian Kilmeade, who I know many of you are like, boo, he's Fox News, did a good report this morning on how things are looking in Iowa. Take a listen.
All right, check out these polls. Here you go. The new Fox Business polls just in, revealing Iowa Republican voters want, you guessed it, Donald Trump, putting him over 50% for the first time in the Hawkeye state on our polls. As for DeSantis and Haley, they'll have a lot of catching up to do, but they are improving too.
Dude, you got a lot of catching up to do. You got in the Iowa caucus right now, the polls, 52% Donald Trump, okay, in September of 2023. He was at 46%. He's widening his lead. DeSantis is second place in Iowa, but still basically statistically tied with Nikki Haley. You know, dude, if Nikki Haley gets second place in Iowa, I mean, that's going to be embarrassing. My piece this week at Human Events is talking about the implosion of the Ron DeSantis campaign. And I pulled quotes from my interview that I did yesterday. You should listen to yesterday's show. I spoke to the Dark Prince of Secrecy in Missouri, Greg Keller, yesterday. It was a great interview. If you missed it, you definitely want to hear it. And I spoke to big people are like, oh, what did you have DeSantis people on? I have DeSantis people on all the time. I had John Cardillo on the other day, and I talked to him about why he thinks that the DeSantis campaign has fallen apart. And, you know, he's kind of backing the idea that it has to do with the handlers. And Greg Keller just says, you know, he just doesn't have the same riz that Donald Trump has. And that's really what it is. I think a lot of it has to do with universal name recognition amongst people who in the country who know who Donald Trump is. Not everybody pays attention to politics like we are. Not everybody is like us. Even Cardillo admitted that. Normies, they may not even know who Ron DeSantis is unless you really pay attention. And here's the thing. People go and they vote and they don't even watch the news. They have no idea who they're voting for, right? A lot of them just go and they pull. There are people who vote for the person who is at the top of the ballot, at the top of everything. They just go and vote because they think it's their civic duty. They think they have to. And they vote for the person who is just at the top of the ballot. You know what I'm talking about. This is reality. This is America. Anyways, all right. So
up to do with 3 weeks to go until Iowa, and we have a Christmas pause going on. Let's talk to some voters from the state, Iowa Republican voter and farmer, Chris Perdue. Good to see you, Chris.
Wait. Where's my boy Vivek? Oh, yeah, 7%. Honestly, you know, if Vivek does 7%, I would say that's not bad for somebody who's a complete unknown running for office for the very first time. Placing it 7% in a statewide poll in a Republican presidential primary, that's something to be proud of. I know that everybody like trashes on people who are losers or who don't come in first place or who aren't the winners, or like maybe they come in a distant second. But if you're a nobody and you get you're looking at those kinds of numbers, and if Vivek gets double digits at all, let's say he gets 10% in Iowa, I think that would be a big victory for him personally, just as an individual.
Republican Iowa voter, Jasmine Jordan. Good to see you, Jasmine. And independent voter Marie Klein. Marie, first off, are you surprised by the polls? Most people are independents. And where do you stand with the leaders?
I'm not surprised by the polls. Trump has had an amazing presidency, and people just loved him. So I'm not surprised by the polls. However, I do not stand with Trump for this election. I think his time was a few years ago, and it's not his time next. I stand with DeSantis and Haley. I think either one of them would do a wonderful job for the country. They could do what Trump can do, but they can do it without all the drama and the baggage.
Right. And so far, if DeSantis does not, it's a must win for Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. It is a must win for him. And I was glad that John Burke admitted that when I was on his show a couple of weeks ago. Cardillo seems to think, oh, no, you don't have to win Iowa. But I think for DeSantis, he really does need to win Iowa.
It's very close. And Haley's within 2 points. Jasmine.
Yeah, and Haley should not be that close in Iowa, in a state where it's like corn-fed Republicans. She should not be that close to DeSantis.
For you, you're leaning or you're voting for Trump. What did things like that Colorado decision do for your thought pattern here? What about the Alvin Bragg prosecution and all the other trials? Did they play a role in your support for Trump?
It's an interesting question.
Yes, I believe that all these decisions further support my vote for Trump, because once they go after him and he's out of the way, then all of us Americans are under attack. You know, his free speech is being violated. And if that decision with Colorado goes through, it shows that Americans, this will happen to us, and our protections are being lost. You know, if they can get rid of the form.
I kind of lost you the last couple of words.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get those.
Chris, you are still.
That's what happens when you have those remote interviews. She's probably like doing what I do on this show and coming in through Zoom to Fox News. So that's the dangers that you deal with.
Undecided. You know, it's interesting because the former president said, farmers love me. I got you billions of dollars. You're a farmer, but you're still undecided. Was there a disconnect there?
No, there's not a disconnect. He did do well for farmers with trade with China. And that shows because we had good prices while he was president, and the prices for our grain and soybeans, corn have declined during the Biden administration. So, yeah, I guess Trump would be the one.
It's kind of amazing how like little people understand about economics or care, right? They, you know, in terms of like the price, like people think it's the job of the president to control the prices of soy, or it's the role of the president to like keep prices high. I mean, this is straight up FDR New Deal bullshit that they're spouting as Republicans.
The one I'm leaning toward, but I've been keeping my mind open. I saw Nikki Haley the other day in Trainer, Iowa, and Vivek.
There's a really good story you should read in a book called The Politically Incorrect Guide to Socialism. Those are all really great books. But the book starts out with a story during the Reagan administration about oranges that were left out, California oranges that were left out in the fields to rot. And some reporter was asking the head of the Food and Drug Administration, I think the guy's name was Ben Cardin at the time, was asking the head of the FDA, why were these oranges being left out in the fields to rot? You know, shouldn't they go out and, you know, try and sell them for people who are hungry or starving, or give them away? And the answer was, of course, that the reason why they were leaving these oranges out to rot was because they are trying to increase the price of oranges so that the farmers can make more profit. So because they decrease the supply, they increase the price. And which is what, you know, this industrial policy and agricultural policy is that this farmer is advocating for. And bless him, you know, he just wants to make money and feed his family, you know, on the backs of the rest of us, right? Not through free trade, but through tariffs and through protectionism and through government force, right? And he probably thinks he's against socialism and thinks he's for free markets and would say he votes for capitalism, right? But horseshit. This is a socialist country, and these farmers are actually advocating for socialism. In regards to the oranges, though, so the FDA guy was asked, well, wouldn't it be good for us to allow these oranges to be at least given away so people could get these essential vitamins? And the head of the FDA was reported as saying, people don't need to eat oranges. They can just take vitamins. Like, what?
How dare you?
That's the country for you.
Ramaswamy also, so I'm just seeing what everybody else has to offer.
And what did they real quick? What was your takeaway from one-on-one or for up close in person with Nikki Haley and Vivek? What was your takeaway?
Vivek is very in tune with the regulations that affect farmers, and he knows how that can affect us from the federal government. Nikki Haley is aware of the World Trade too, that she would help us with trade ethanol and corn and soybeans with other countries. But President Trump, he has got a record for farmers. And back when we had our caucus back in 2020, it was a record turnout for him, even though there was no one running against him. So Iowa has strong ties with Trump.
So, Jasmine, I want you to check out this poll right now, and it shows how firm people's support is for the candidate they choose. Trump supporters, 83% support will stay with him. 16% say they might change their mind. For DeSantis, it's a lot closer, 59-39, and Haley is even closer, 51-43. So for you, there's no game day decision. But have you talked to others, Jasmine, who are up in the air, that are still waiting to hear something?
Yeah, I think people are kind of just watching with all the decisions that currently are going on throughout the nation, especially regarding Trump and his trials, and kind of seeing what these candidates continue to speak out about.
Right. And Marie, for you, in the next few weeks, there'll be a bit of a pause, but the next 2 weeks will be a blitz. When you get in the caucus, when you get in there, it's not just going to the booth, the caucus. What is that going to be like? What are you going to be listening for?
Well, honestly, independents are not allowed into the caucus in Iowa. And
That's
I'm
right.
seriously considering, for the first time, declaring a party so I can be involved with the caucus situation.
Yeah, so primaries are open and caucuses are closed. And I prefer caucuses because then taxpayers don't pay for them.
When you look at the numbers, when it gets down to Trump and one other person,
Right.
if everyone throws the support behind that other person, the numbers will be very, very close.
Yeah. Has Joe Biden done that to you? Has he made you want to take a side?
Absolutely. I'm so disappointed in Joe Biden and the entire.
Sounds like she's probably going to be voting in the Republican caucus. What about you? Have you guys ever done a caucus? I'd be curious to hear your stories. Tell us about your caucus. Send us a text at 573-319-1586. Again, the text lines are open. You can text me night or day at 573-319-1586. One listener texted in this morning, said they asked Santa for more guns and ammo. Oh, baby. We love to hear it. What about you? What'd you ask Santa for this year? You can, again, send us a text at 573-319-1586 is the text line. Saw a really good clip of Joe Rogan last night where he was talking to, Tim Dillon, the comedian. They were talking about Nikki Haley. I thought it was really good. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. But Nikki Haley's up there.
Yeah.
Like, let's fight it. Let's go. China. Let's go.
Why do you think she's doing that?
Because she
Has
wants.
she always been that way?
She wants the big money. And the big money people like when you get. Well, she's a woman, so she's got to be tough.
Ooh.
Ban TikTok. I'll kill you.
She wants to ban TikTok?
Oh, ban it. Ban it. And then we're going to go there and kick China's ass for making it. I'm Nikki Haley. I'm tough. I'm Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton came out like the running of the bulls, going, fuck Putin. We should kill. Like, Hillary's on record saying some of the most bellicose things ever about what we should be doing with our CIA and with our military. True. And Nikki Haley's basically going out there going, the big money likes when you're open to a little conflict. They like that. The Koch brothers types like when you leave the door open. You don't have to say we're going to do it, but leave the door open. All options.
That would be, here's the thing. The Koch brothers did endorse, or at least the Koch, there's no brothers anymore, but at least the Koch organization did endorse Nikki Haley. So to some extent, that is true. It used to be, I used to be able to say the Koch institution was anti-war, but they kind of lost that credential.
It's on the table. That's their favorite word. Their favorite sense is like, we're leaving all options on the table. It's about our values, says Nikki Haley. It's about our values. In northern Ukraine, she wants the money. I don't know what Chris Christie's up there talking about.
By the way, I love this fur.
Ozempic or whatever, but he's not getting $1. No one's giving him anything.
He's a weird one.
He's just there to ruin things. Here's what I appreciate about Chris Christie. He exists only to destroy.
Yeah, bellicose is a good word, Camellia. I do like it. I wonder where the word bellum, how the word bellum became synonymous with war. Because when you think antebellum America, or the antebellum South, that's before the war. Antebellum and postbellum. So bellum. And then I guess, let's see, CV pacem parabellum. Yeah. So I guess it must be Latin, right? Look at me figuring that out on my own. You know what it is? It's all this delicious Founding Flavors coffee that I'd be drinking this morning. That's right, baby. The delicious Founding Flavors coffee available only at ap4libertyshop.com. It'll have you speaking Latin in no time. Guys, don't forget that Martha's Mint is going away. Don't be sad. Don't freak out. You can still get a few bags before Christmas is here. Make sure that you send in your orders today at ap4libertyshop.com. Look at that delicious box of Jeffersonian Java, Thomas's painkiller. Washington's Revolutionary Roast, Electric Sex, Electric Elixir, and Adams's Patriotic Perk. Don't forget, too, we've got Betsy's Liberty Lullaby. I left that box at home on accident. But you can get a decaf version of our Founding Flavors coffee over at ap4libertyshop.com. That's AP the number 4. It'll have you speaking in Latin in no time. We are out of the gnomes. Did you guys notice? No gnomes? Yeah, they're gone. We sold all 20. We sold them all out in basically 2 days, all of the assault gnomes. And I don't know if we're going to buy more because it takes forever to get them in. And like, I don't want to like buy a whole bunch and then they don't sell. Like everybody who wanted one got one at this point. But if you actually wanted a gnome and you didn't get one, I'll tell you what I'll do is I might like take pre-orders or like take a poll of the audience. If you wanted one of the gnomes with machine guns, send me a text at 573-319-1586 and let me know that you do want an assault gnome because I had 20, sold them out. The last one is getting mailed out today, so they're all gone, which was great, right? But we're not sure if we're going to get any back in. So get yourself some delicious Founding Flavors coffee. And I highly recommend that you try our metal sign customizer tool because we have some amazing, beautiful metal signs available for sale over at ap4libertyshop.com. Check this out. You can see our custom metal signs. All these right here, they look like buttons on this ad, but you can see over here you can get some that are customizable, like the Delta Squad here thing. You can get this as an AR-15, AK-47, SCAR, sniper rifle monogram, or you can just get a good old-fashioned straight-up God Bless America sign, and definitely add the magnetic custom sign hanging hardware. If you aren't super handy and you can't necessarily hang stuff on your own, then go ahead and buy the hanging hardware to go with it because it's designed for these custom metal signs. I mean, you can hang it, pretty much however you please. And not every sign that we have here is customizable. So the Fallen Soldier Memorial or the Swooping Eagle steel sign, we've got 4 pages of awesome custom steel signs. If you've got somebody in the military in your life, you can get the helicopter drop, or, you can also get the Deer Hunter monogram, and they're so easy to customize. If you click on it over here, you'll see the personalization button will pop up. Choose the color that you want, choose the size that you want, and then do like Peterson's, right? There you go. Cool, right? So you can get an awesome customized metal sign, different sizes, different colors, to your specification. Dad, establish whatever year you became a dad. Let's go Brandon signs, whatever it is that you'd like. And don't forget, of course, that you've got delicious Founding Flavors coffee over at ap4libertyshop.com. That's AP, the number 4, ap4libertyshop.com. Tressa Lee says that she likes my shirt a lot. Thank you, Tressa. Lovely to see you. Glad to have all of our friends here on the show this morning. Make sure that you click like and subscribe to the channel. We've got lots more great content to go. Donald Trump thrown off the ballot in Colorado. Will it make a difference? Will he get back on soon? What's the battle plan? How is Donald Trump going to win against Biden when he lost last time? Let's talk to Remzo Martinez about that when we get back on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Goose Lodge in Jamestown, Kansas, your home away from home. Choose the comfort and privacy of our individual rooms, each equipped with its very own locking door and en-suite facilities. Or bring the whole family and make memories in our communal space. Snuggle up on our plush recliners or share a meal around the dining table that comfortably seats 8. Our kitchen is armed with everything you need, from a microwave to a full-size fridge. For a bird's eye view, book the Eagle's Nest. Enjoy the privacy, storage space, and its very own toilet and shower. For just $450 a night, reserve the entire lodge. Perfect for reunions or retreats, accommodating up to 8 guests. And remember, Snow Goose Lodge is a haven for kids and dogs alike. So bring the whole family. Book your stay now and get 20% off your first booking using the code WAKEUP.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
American conservatism is distinct, like America is distinct from the United Kingdom. American conservatism's roots comes out of the Wild West, out of pioneerism. The difference between American conservatives and European conservatives is that Americans are cowboys. We are that God, guns, gold, and girls. It's wild here, and we should stay that way. We shouldn't allow a European version of conservatism to come and infect us here. We like it wide open spaces here, you know, deep in the heart of Texas and all that.
Hey there, it's your favorite Vice President Joe Biden. I wanted to talk to you today about the Wake Up America show, the best source for all your political news and commentary. But before I get started, let me just make sure I have all my notes in order. Okay, where was I? All right, the Wake Up America show. It's a great way to stay informed and make your voice heard. Boy, what was I saying again? Oh, right. The Wake Up America show. It's important that we all stay engaged and knowledgeable about what's going on in our country and, the thing. But hold on, where was I going with all this? Oh, yeah. The Wake Up America show. It's a fantastic resource. And if you really want to make a difference, man, you can sign up to be a monthly donor at wakeupAmericaShow.com/support. Now, where was I? Oh, that's right, the Wake Up America show. So if you want to stay woke and support a great cause, head on over to wakeupAmericaShow.com/support and sign up to be a monthly donor today. And if you're feeling generous, you can even give a donation in my name. Thanks for listening, and keep on keeping on, America. Come on, man.
Thank you for watching the Wake Up America show with my dad. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 reasons why you should visit Dad's online store at apforlibertyshop.com. Number 1, you can get exclusive freedom-loving merch designed by AP himself or me mum, Steffi. Liberty Laura has made some designs as well, and blimey, they are great. Number 2, most of these products are so wicked that they aren't even allowed to be advertised on Facebook or Instagram. Modern machine guns and a proper keychain. Plus, our Grover Cleveland t-shirt is so spicy apparently that leftists on Facebook specifically banned it from appearing on the website. Number 3, you're supporting liberty lovers just like you. Spend your money where you earn it, and you help me pups build a community that supports what you believe. Bloody hell, this commercial is running too long. Gotta run. Bye now. Don't forget to visit apforlibertyshop.com. That's apforlibertyshop.com.
Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Nice to see you here. Merry Christmas. Click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you come back here and join us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central. The Wake Up America show streams live here at rumble.com/AP for Liberty. And if you're over on the Rumble chat this morning, drop a comment. We'd like to have you make friends and introduce yourself, make your acquaintance. We've been making all kinds of new friends lately, like Tressa Lee and All sorts of new names and faces I see over there in the chat. Nice to meet you all. We're glad to have you here. We like to make friends. Just a quick update. Next week, obviously, Monday is Christmas. I'll be hanging out with the fam at the family farm. So we'll be gone Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then we will be back on Thursday and Friday. So don't be too disappointed. AP does take a few days off every once in a while. So no show next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Back on the Freedom Watch Thursday and Friday. So we'll look forward to seeing you here back after that. And we hope you have a Merry Christmas. All right. This is the President of the United States commenting on the question of whether or not Donald Trump is an insurrectionist.
Trump an insurrectionist, sir?
Well, I think certainly it's self-evident. He saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection. There's no question about it. None. Zero. And he seems to be doubling down on about everything.
All right. Well, there's no question about it at all. Well, I think we've got some questions about it. Here joining me now to discuss is Remzo Martinez. He's a friend of the show. We've been working together for a long time on liberty initiatives. Good morning, Remzo. Merry Christmas.
Austin, you know it's bad when I say Obama wouldn't have even said what Joe Biden said. And that's really low.
It is weird because every once in a while, Obama will come out and say all this woke stuff is like nonsense and it's hurting us. And I'm just kind of like, damn, the Democrats have really changed a lot in like the last decade since you and I got started in politics anyway. Is there a question about whether or not it was an insurrection? I think there's a question. Is there a question in your mind?
I don't think that insurrections have selfie sticks and grandmas walking through lines. And every day, this whole caricature of what January 6th was falls apart piece by piece. And at this point in time, nearly 4 years later, it's all but fallen apart. I'm going to tell you something that I've never talked about before. It was primarily for legal reasons because the company is as dead as disco. I worked for the social media platform Parler in 2020, and I left in December of 2020, a month before the January 6th incident. And for months, and this caused great difficulty in my life. For months, I was on the run from the media. I was being stalked by liberal media outlets. I had even some, what people would consider as middle of the road outlets offer to pay me thousands of dollars to be an insider for them and everything. I had no privacy. My life was turned upside down merely because of association. And you had CNN, you even had the House Foreign Intelligence Committee saying that, the company at the time was run by Russian oligarchs and that it was a breeding ground and it was the platform used to arrange the January 6th protests and everything. And CNN even compared it, tantamount to domestic terrorism. Within a year, the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation themselves, said that Parler was not complicit as a company or a platform in anything regarding January 6th. They looked at it on an individual basis, and even employees at the time who were still around after I left had gone ahead and said that they were reporting people to the FBI weeks in advance, the day of, and even afterwards, if they were calling for explicit calls to violence. And what we've seen through Tucker Carlson releasing the full footage of what happened inside the Capitol, what we know about, the cop, the Capitol Hill police who was running for his life and saved Mitt Romney, the same one that I believe shot Ashley Babbitt. Everything is falling apart. Was it something that I think conservatives should just look at and be like, well, nothing happened? No, something happened, but something might not entirely be true. And as people look back at what Donald Trump was doing that day, you got to look at the people accusing him of leaving Mike Pence and all this other stuff, but follow his words. He said, go and march peacefully and patriotically and let your voices be heard. That's not the same as Democrats across the country who were saying we should go ahead and find Republicans at gas stations and restaurants. And, Maxine Waters saying you can't let them live normal lives. All these other people saying, I wish I just punched him in, punched Trump in the face and all this other stuff. Literal calls to violence for 4 years. But no, that's fine. But that happens to happen during one of the craziest freaking years of our life, and they're saying it's worse than 9/11. To say that has happened, you go ahead and look at Republicans day after day. Trump is the front runner. No matter what happens, he's the front runner because we know that what went down is fishy. We know that these people do not have our best interests at heart. And Dan Bongino said this on his show yesterday. When the left sees something that they want to spin as a conspiracy, they let you throw out all your accusations and then they call you a nut job. But when you're actually hitting something that they're doing, they deflect. They say you can't talk about it even. That's what's going on now. We're not even allowed to vote for Donald Trump, according to the Colorado Supreme Court. So this is ridiculous on so many levels, Austin.
Where do you think this goes, Remzo? You think the Supreme Court takes it up fast and overturns it, or maybe not?
Ron DeSantis went ahead and said that he's not going to be jumping out of the Colorado primary because he believes that it will go to the Supreme Court and ultimately they'll knock it down. I don't know if I feel as optimistic because part of me is like, okay, Gorsuch, Barrett, Thomas, like they will go ahead and fight. They didn't fight for him too much in 2020 and 2021. I mean, even Al Gore's, election, result claims at least got to the Supreme Court for more than like an hour. Trump's really didn't. And now at the time, a lot of people looked at that and, the pundits and folks were talking about the red mirage regarding mail-in ballots and stuff like that. But how many more truckloads and USB drives worth of votes are we going to find in Wisconsin? Are we going to find in Michigan and Pennsylvania? I'm starting to think that maybe they do this and they do the right thing because it's the right thing, but you can't bet on that these days.
Yeah, no kidding. I wouldn't have bet on it at any days. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, I'm Austin Peterson. We're glad to have you here. Click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll be glad to have you come back and join us here. I'm speaking to Remzo Martinez. He and I are chatting a little bit about Donald Trump being thrown off the ballot in Colorado. I'm like you. I'm not optimistic that the Supreme Court's necessarily going to take this off, but this is the primary. But now we see, Remzo, 15 other states are looking at doing the exact same thing. It's amazing to see this from people who claim to love so much about democracy. Don't you just love the irony?
Well, I mean, democracy's great when you get the result that you want. But I don't know if it was the lieutenant governor, if it was AG Paxton in Texas. They're already saying, well, Biden later went ahead and said it's because Trump poses a national security threat. Everyone is suddenly an expert in the 14th Amendment again. Remember the birthright citizenship argument a few years ago? Well, now we're looking at it in case of the insurrectionist clause and everything else. Well, if we are going to go ahead and get people who aid and abet our enemies, who go ahead and pose a national security risk to the country, then Joe Biden should be off the ballot in Texas, at least, for allowing hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens to cross into our country and flood our system. That's a pretty big deal. If we're talking about the aid and abetting our foreign enemies, why did Joe Biden take so much money from the mayor of Moscow when he was just a private citizen after being vice president? What about Hunter Biden taking so much money from China? The man who has been a political child his entire life, a political brat his entire life, can't show up to the right building on the day of his hearing? This is all show, and they don't care. So I'm at the point now where it's like, you know what, game on. I guess Republican states are just going to have to remove Joe Biden because he's an obvious threat to the country. Play the same game, man.
It's just a wild time that we live in here. I mean, if other states start doing the same thing, I think you're probably right. I think that probably you'll have to fight fire with fire in that situation and just see where it goes. But if anything, I think we're ratcheting up the pain and the anger and the hostility to some extent. I just wish that there could be some way that we could see some kind of a cooling off of tensions and just have a nice normal election. Like I know that. Well, I guess we haven't had a normal election since what, Ronald Reagan? Because George W. Bush and the hanging chads with Al Gore, we've had this problem ever since then of like illegitimate election. I mean, it's not like Hillary Clinton wasn't saying Donald Trump was an illegitimate president. I guess we haven't had a legitimate president since since when, Remzo?
Man, I think America, I treat America like a sexy lady. It's been going through a hoe phase, all right? Just president after president, old guys, rich guys, black guys. We don't know what we want. I think it's time for America just to be single. Find ourselves, read, eat, pray, love, do some yoga, just be abstinent for a while. I think Austin, I believe that America should embrace its period of singleness. I don't think we need a president.
We need to live, laugh, love. We need to practice self-care. We need to we need to do bath bombs, and we need to do some meditation and get some exercise and just work on ourselves. It's great. Give it up for Remzo Martinez. Make sure that you click like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We'd love to have you come back and join us here on the show on the regs. Remzo, if you were Donald Trump's election advisor, what would you advise him to do differently than he did last time to try and win in 2024? What does he need to moderate? What does he need to do more? What were the mistakes he made last time that he needs to fix this time if you were his campaign advisor?
I think he's doing a lot of things now that are real improvements. And I think a lot of folks, especially, conservative pundits on X, they're always quick to point at the mistakes. I think a lot of the mistakes he made then are what, Ron DeSantis is making now. He's surrounding himself with the worst people. The worst people. He's getting advice from folks that do not historically have great records. Jeff Rowe from his Never Back Down pack, who worked for Ted Cruz, he almost lost Texas to Beto O'Rourke in 2018. There's a reason why he wasn't working with Ted going forward. Everyone tried to hitch themselves to the DeSantis wagon. You don't really have that with Trump. He's keeping things focused on him. I think avoiding the debates when you have 50, 60% of the caucus backing you, I don't think you need to do them. I think when you own your own platform and you force everyone to have to click in to look at you, even the liberal journalists of the world have to have truth.com accounts, I think not being on X is helping him. I think he's doing everything he can do to keep the focus on him without doing the wild Trump antics that kind of worried us in 2016. I was not a Trump guy in 2016, but right now what we're seeing him as is cool and collective, and he knows what he's doing. He's been in the seat. We know what his presidency was like. And a lot of people remember that. There are folks I know who did not vote for Trump in 2020. That was the first year I voted for Donald Trump, who are suddenly like, man, it was not as bad as it is now. This is some messed up stuff, dude. You see how much eggs cost? Like, do we forget that eggs were like how much money 6-7 months ago? Like, that is Biden's America. So I think he just keeps doing what he's doing. But the biggest promoter of Trump's best qualities is Joe Biden. The raid on Mar-a-Lago, everything they have done with all these phony indictments and stupid lawsuits and attempts to, just dehumanize him to the nth degree. This is the final straw. Donald Trump doesn't have to talk. His enemies are doing it for him. And you can tell a lot about a person by the people who attack him. At this point, I haven't even been really watching the debates. I'll be completely honest with you. I like Ramaswamy and, DeSantis just totally crapped the bed. And I didn't even remember that Chris Christie was still a thing. But as far as I see it, there shouldn't even really be a primary at this point. I'm not saying like they should shut it down, but people just need to drop out. We're looking for Trump's vice president. I think the general election started yesterday. It's going to be Trump versus Biden. It's just about who's getting on with this or not. I'm not even registered to vote right now, but I'll be registering to vote in time for 2024. Like, that's how messed up this is.
Do you think that it does, as some people are saying, Remzo, do you think that this possibly does help him?
Oh, absolutely. Every time they do something to him, his poll numbers just go up. Look what the mugshot did. He's a certified gangster now. And you go ahead and do this, he's public enemy number one. Yeah, it only helps him. It only helps him.
Remzo, is there anything else that you want to share with our audience, our listeners today before we let you go, my friend?
Want to go ahead and, argue with me online or tell me how awesome I am? HGYREMSO. Hey, Remzo on X. Thanks, Austin.
Hey, Remzo on X. Hey, Merry Christmas, Remzo. Very funny this morning. Thanks for everything you do for us and for the cause of liberty. We appreciate you.
Merry Christmas to you, your family, and your audience, Austin. Thank you.
Thanks very much. What do you guys think of Remzo Martinez? Give it up. Send us a text at 573-319-1586. Okay. So I'm with Brandon Meyer over in the comments section who says that is probably fake and probably gay as well. Are we having fun this morning on the Wake Up America show? For the love of God, I think we are. Do me a favor, will you click that like button and subscribe to the channel? We'd love to hear from you. Oh, are you guys excited for the Javier Milei? Are we going to play that now? No, not yet. Not yet. We're not there yet. We're don't be sad. We'll play Javier Milei in a little bit, right? But real quick, let's take a listen to Joe Biden and what he threatened to do. Oh gosh, dang it! There we go.
We just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again. We just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.
So there you go. There, Joe Biden laying out his playbook. We all love Vivek Ramaswamy now here, don't we? Vivek Ramaswamy is the only candidate who sounds like America's Javier Milei. Take a listen to this.
I'm the only candidate who's actually going to take on that federal bureaucracy.
Yeah, and you want to fire half the federal bureaucracy, aren't you?
No, 75%. More than half.
Aren't you worried that's a lot of people losing their jobs on day one?
Well, the job of the federal government is not to provide employment opportunity.
Fuera! Afuera!
And there's more open jobs than there are people looking for jobs right now. That's 2 for 1. Let them get honest work in the private sector, and I'll support that. And these are good people.
That's what I want to hear, bitches. That's what I want to hear. That's what I'm talking about. He's the GOAT. That's
not
what
their
I'm talking
fault,
about.
but it's the fault of a federal government that should not be running a bureaucracy as vast as it is today. And I'm the only candidate in this race with a clear plan to change that. I think the people of this country know that's what we need. And I think that's where we're going to succeed in this Iowa caucus. It's because
Afuera! Afuera! Let's hear what J.D. Vance has to say about Trump being thrown off the ballot and Vivek Ramaswamy saying he will not be on the ballot if Trump is not.
For sure. And to that end, I want to pull up this tweet. So this is Vivek Ramaswamy. We don't have it, but I'll read it for you. He basically says he's removing his name from the Colorado ballot in solidarity, not just with Trump, but with, to your point, Republicans picking their own nominee. And he's calling on the rest of the contenders in the party to remove their names from the Colorado ballot. Your thoughts on that?
Good for Vivek. Good for somebody for actually standing up, a competitor of Donald Trump in the primary, for standing up and saying this is completely unacceptable. The one thing I've been heartened by, Kaylee, is the response to this is not just Trump allies, but across the political spectrum, even a number of Democrats are saying this is just crazy. Do the American people get to decide who their president is or not? Because these judges are saying the answer is no, we decide for you, and we've got to stand up and push back against this.
See, everybody liking them some Vivek these days. Everybody liking Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh, do you want me to play that clip? Do you want to hear it? Oh, no. Let's hear from Kid Rock instead.
You're very friendly with Trump. I'm very friendly with Trump. I hear, you guys talk quite a bit. You golf together. You went to the UFC thing. That must be pretty amazing when you see those types of people. Dana White, the UFC crowd, you're there, Trump's there. Man, if that's not Americana, nothing is, kid.
It's quite an experience. Every time we spend time together, whether it's on a golf course and social settings, that's our 3rd UFC fight together. I just, if there's one thing I get across to people, you see the man in politics, and of course you get to see other aspects of his life, but I could just talk 2 seconds about him as a friend, and how over the years I've just become so comfortable in him being my friend and me being his that, a lot of people are nervous and things around him, just like I was, when he was president the first few times, and now
Do you guys remember that story that Kid Rock told when he was hanging out with Trump in the White House at one point? And he was like, Trump was like looking at a map of North Korea and asking Kid Rock for advice. And Kid Rock was like, should I be in on this? Is this something that I need to be weighing in on?
I drink my beer, smoke my cigar. We talk about worldly things. Sometimes he asks me about policy. Other times we're just talking about sports or this, that, and the other. And I see him with his kids. If you can measure a man by one thing, look at his children. Look at all his kids. I've come to know them all. Some of the grandkids. They're terrific human beings, no matter what your politics are. And if you really want to judge somebody, I know it's not fair in all cases. People do have problems, and I'm not knocking someone who has problems. We all have family members or people that we know have been through that. But to have that family be as well put together as they are, coming from, it starts at the top with that man. So, you know, like I tell a lot of people, I don't like Trump. I freaking love Trump.
See, I'm glad that we've now heard from the Kid Rock wing of the Republican Party. Ba with the ba, the bang, diddy. I am Kid Rock. Did you hear this clip earlier I played from Kellyanne Conway? So freaking funny.
Trump on those grounds, or that he's been convicted. So it is in doubt. And when you look at what I just think the Democrats wake up every morning, Emily, and they look at the calendar. The iPhone says January 6, 2021. The date never changes. And then they get an electric vehicle and go get an abortion. I just described the Democratic Party to you.
All right. Boomers, beware. Young millennials and Zoomers are coming for your Social Security. We're going to talk to Camelia Peterson about that when we get back on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupamericashow.com.
Expanse of time, a year might seem like a mere moment, but oh, what a year it's been. In September 2022, Austin and Stephanie Peterson embarked on a journey to wake up America. They began humbly, with just 20 souls tuning in, learning, listening, and though challenges arose, like the looming shadow of YouTube demonetization, their spirit never waned. And now, thanks to you, thousands rise with the sun to join them, to listen, to engage, to be a part of a community. So here's to you, and to Wake Up America, for memories shared, for friends made, for the journey ahead, and for never, ever forgetting to rise and freedom. Happy anniversary.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Peterson is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch, and I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific, believe me.
I'm a public defender.
I am a public defender.
I'm proud to be a public defender.
80% of Americans accused of a crime will get appointed a public defender.
Everybody from a speeding ticket to capital murder.
For every dollar we spend on public defenders, we spend $3 on prosecutors.
Public defenders have to do pretty much everything on their own.
Social workers, counselors.
Investigating is another piece of it.
The average public defender holds 300 cases annually.
You never feel like there's enough time.
Public defenders have health issues all the time.
A lot of people give up and say, I can't do this work anymore.
Gideon's Promise trains, mentors, and supports public defenders.
There are a lot of people who say that they would not still be public defenders, but for Gideon's Promise.
It's fueled me to continue on in this fight.
Gideon's Promise has changed the face of public defense.
People see us as troublemakers.
Good trouble only.
We don't make it easy. It should not be easy to take away someone's liberty.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells and bobtail ring, making spirit bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Good morning, rise in freedom. Merry Christmas. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Do me a favor, will you? Click like, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you come back and join us here every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time here on the show. Next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we will be out for Christmas, but don't be too disappointed because it's not like we're taking off a whole week or anything like that. I love this job and I love hanging out with you guys. So I'll be back on Thursday and Friday of next week, and we'll have a show, a couple of shows. It'll be fun. Hopefully my next guest will be able to join us as well for her regular Thursday spot. Today is this Thursday, so that means that we have the lovely Camelia Peterson joining us live on show. What's up, CJ?
Good morning, and a little early Merry Christmas to everyone.
Early Merry Christmas to you. Did you ever do the Christmas tree thing this year, or did you guys never get around to it?
We did. We got it up the other night. We've been slowly getting all of the ornaments on it and whatnot, and we're just behind this year. The house is still kind of we're under renovation, so things are a little messed around, but we're getting there.
Right. Well, Camelia, I do want to talk to you about Social Security and about people buying Christmas gifts for like grandkids and like getting their house like full of crap. But I know that you've got like, I think your man crush might be transferring from Elon Musk to Javier Milei. Right.
It's possible.
A woman cannot serve two libertarian masters.
Right.
So Javier Milei cuts 300 regulations yesterday. I mean, God bless. He's doing the Lord's work.
See the pictures of the stacks of papers, and I'm like, and the thing is like he's, people make promises all the time. Candidates make promises about what they're going to do on day one. Who actually does it? Nobody ever actually does it except for Javier Milei. I mean, good Lord, like that's hot.
Yes, it is. I find myself getting a little bit sweaty when I listen to Javier Milei. No, you're right.
Cutting the regulations, cutting the agencies. And the thing is our friend Alejandro was pointing out to us that the thing is that the challenge for him would be something that the left over there does every time the opposing party gets into anywhere close to getting into powers. They take to the streets in violent protest, and they bait law enforcement into a violent reaction, and everything goes downhill. So he said the challenge is whether or not they do that. And so far, Milei has been managing that really well. And I think he instituted something where if they were arrested for violence during, a protest or something like that, they would get their welfare benefits cut. And so anyway, so far it's been going well. So it's impressive.
No, for sure. The communists have taken to the streets, and this is kind of his first big test, right? He's got to show that he can keep law and order in the country without cracking down too hard. Because I guess communists have successfully, I guess they've successfully kept, they've successfully knocked other presidents and people like that out of power, from at least from what we've heard, right?
Right, that's what it sounds like. So, yeah, I hopefully one day Alejandro will be able to come on the show because he's got a great story. He immigrated from Argentina whenever he was a teen, and so he he has a great perspective, and firsthand experience on where things are in the country.
Gotcha. All right, so let's talk about the news that I brought you in here for. Younger generations in the United States, including millennials and Gen Zers, are much more likely to believe that the Social Security system needs reforming than those in their 60s or 70s. Duh. This is a new survey that came out by Redfield and Wilton Strategies. A majority of 63% of Americans strongly agreed that the Social Security system needs to be reformed. Only 10% strongly disagreed or disagreed. What's your take on this, Camelia?
So I think the difference in the split here between the boomers and the Gen X, millennials, Gen Z is kind of its denial, right, on the part of the boomers, maybe, and they're not feeling the pinch as much. But I do think that especially with Gen Z, I think they see for all the crap they get, I think that they see a lot of these issues more clearly than maybe even millennials do. But yeah, the majority of those demographics believe that Social Security is paying out more than they're bringing in. They believe that it needs to be reformed. Gen X has been all over this for a long time. So we know what's up. But yeah, it's but the thing is they're saying that by 2033, if there's not any changes that have been made, that there will need to be an across the board 23% cut in Social Security benefits. And that trust fund runs out in 2034.
No kidding. And this is one of those third rail topics in politics. But I mean, you're somebody who's been doing grassroots work. You've been knocking on doors, talking to voters. Do you think that this is pretty consistent? This polling is consistent that younger people really do want to see reform. Maybe older people don't.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that this is, you talk about the disparity, the wealth disparity between the boomer generation and, millennials and Gen Z all of the time. And I think that they are recognizing that, and that it's, they see the need for it, and they know that it's not going to be there for them. They can't go out and buy a house right now. There are lots of things that they cannot do. And I actually think this ties into the other piece that we were going to talk about too, as far as like gift giving. But anyway, yeah, no, I think that they've got a much more realistic point of view on it. I think it's because they're already feeling the very real life impact.
Oh, for sure. Now, since you went ahead and brought it up, the next topic that we had gotten you prepared for on this one from the Business Insider, the headline is Millennial Parents Say Well-Meaning Boomers Are Gifting Junk to Their Grandkids, and It's Time to Stop. This is kind of in line with a lot of stories that I've read lately about like people who of older generations who have passed away, and they're not necessarily what you might call hoarders, but they just leave so much stuff behind, just tons of stuff. My wife was dealing with this recently with a grandparent who passed away. She just had so much stuff that she collected over the years. Maybe one of the best gifts that people can give to their kids or grandkids is to just give away all your stuff before but I mean, nobody wants to do that because like nobody wants to think about like death or stuff like that. But this story specifically, like, I guess people, not to be like ingrateful, like my dad would be mad to hear me say this, like it's ingrateful, right? But at some point, like, the house does become a junk pile because when you have kids, like, the grandparents want to spoil them. Anyways, what's your take? You actually have children.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I think the younger generations are embracing minimalism in a lot of ways. And I do think that it's normal. And the well-intentioned part of that headline, I think is very real. I do think that this is somewhat a reaction. Many of these, our boomer parents grew up with almost nothing. And so this is kind of a natural overreaction in a lot of ways, is that they have wanted better for their kids and for their grandkids, and they want them to have all of the things that they never had. So in a lot of ways, this is a normal reaction to this. And but I do think that, we are now seeing that it's like you could just be suffocated by all of this stuff. And we are really starting to see an emphasis on, what is better and what is more meaningful in life, having all of the toys and the things and the material things or experiences. And I just seen, it's funny that you sent this because just yesterday I had seen a mom post about this on X, and she was saying that their family, had given their kids so much stuff that is just coming out their ears and they don't know what to do with it. And she just was ready to draw a line and say, like donate to their 529, do something that's going to have a lasting impact. And I think, when you talk about that wealth disparity between the generations, that's something very practical and something very long-term that grandparents can do, is investing in those 529 plans or in the future of their grandchildren, because there's, the very real possibility that the Social Security is not going to be there for them. And so they need to be thinking long-term, because I think that's been one of our biggest failures, is that we have short-term thinking, like we don't have long-term vision anymore. And that's hurting us.
It's really hard to have these kinds of conversations too with your parents. Like, how do you say, I mean, because like even, my dad, he's 81 years old, and, it's at this time in life when we need to be having conversations about, transferring of the state, what needs to happen with the family farm, right? Like, how do we take care of these things? But I'll be honest, like these conversations, these are not easy. Maybe, and you're much more delicate than I am, Camelia. Maybe you have some advice for me or for people who are looking to have these kinds of conversations. I know you have parents who are a little older too.
Sure. And this is something that I've been thinking about a lot too. And I think about this sometimes too, just with regard to my own kids, because nobody ever thinks they're going to die tomorrow. But if you do, like, what's your plan so that transition goes smoothly for them, and with your property? And it's so complicated because the government has their fingers and strings into so many things and makes it next to impossible. So that's been on my mind a lot, not just with regard to my parents, but with regard to my kids. My parents are probably, I think they're pretty cognizant of that, but we haven't actually had those conversations recently. But that's something I've been thinking about a lot, is that we need to have those conversations, because even if I have just one parent pass away, I need to be equipped to be able to help the other parent do the things that need to be done. So yeah, I think there's, we do have to think about those things. And, when grandparents are, even if you're giving experiences, I saw, one grandparent in that article talking about that she always still likes to give a little, physical token gift because you want to do something. And I get that. I am a spontaneous gift giver. Like, the holidays bother me a little bit because I'm more of a spontaneous gift giver than I'm a planned gift giver. But my people show their love and affection in different ways. My mom, all growing up, like that was kind of her primary way of showing that she cared about people, were gifts. And it didn't have to be anything big, but lots of little gifts, which also meant lots of clutter. She's gotten better about that, I will say. But there it is. Like, I think we need to embrace that people and find different ways to show our appreciation and love for people. And there's also things like words of affirmation and time and acts of service. And like, I think for you, probably the words of affirmation is a big one. But yeah, there are more ways to show our appreciation for people than stuff.
It's funny. This last week I embarked on a project that I've never done before, like a home improvement project, in order to make my stairs, the flight of stairs, safer in my home. I installed, and this was a beginning to end project. I had like a base board that I bought from Home Depot, and I had to like get a stud finder, find the studs in the walls. I can't tell you how many holes I poked in that wall and the stud was not there. And so I've never done anything like this before. And then like at one point I'm like trying to drill into the wall, and my hands were sweaty, so I slipped. So the drill slipped out of my hand and then started flying around and like digging holes out of the wall, and like digging grooves into the wall and all this shit. So there's all of these like patches you can see that I need to paint over on the side of the wall. But but the banister is there and it's functional, and now we won't fall down the stairs. It's ugly. It's got like fingerprints in the stain from me staining it incorrectly and improperly, but it's there and it works. Nothing has made me respect my father more than like his handiness to be able to do what he does. I mean, I live on a 5.5 acre, I guess you could call it an estate, a 5.5 acre estate. And it takes me, and I still get help mowing a portion of the lawn. Okay. And I've got like my little riding mower, but I still get the neighbor boys to go out and to do the front field and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, I'm too busy. Right. My dad gets out on a brush hog and a tractor and mows 60 acres pretty much by himself. Like sometimes he gets help to go out and to like bail out the fields and things like that, but he keeps the farm looking spectacular. And I think about, when we're talking about the older generation, the things that they do and their work ethic that we just can't even comprehend. So I don't want to criticize them too much, because there is a greatness of that generation that there's qualities that they have that our generation does not have, that I am in awe of. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is the same with my parents. I've never, and it's not that there are not people like that of my generation now, but I've rarely seen people who are as generous and hardworking as my parents are. And my dad, like there's like retirement. What's retirement? Like he is always doing something, and you're always a kid, with your parents, right? So my dad still helps me work on my car, and there are lots of things like I still, like, to this day, I'm not sure where I would be without my dad. So, but yeah, no, having watched how hard my parents have worked throughout the years, and this is something, by the way, that I was just talking with a Gen Z young lady yesterday, and we were talking about this difference in work-life balance. And I, like, to be honest, I kind of have terrible work-life balance. I mean, there are some reasons for that, but it's like, that is true. And so she was talking about, her perspective on it, and that her generation, and they've made a distinction between, taking that downtime and that mental health time. And I think we do that less. But she was also talking about, they want to get some land, and they want to raise their kids, and they want them, if they can, work hard, be good people, that's all that matters. And, we were talking about that. I was like, those are the things that are caught versus taught, so to speak. And I think we catch those things from our parents, and we watch how hard that they work, and their consistency and their generosity and giving to others. And so important, and something I'm so grateful for.
Love to see it. Now, Camelia, we have you on this show every Tuesday and Thursday. You're a regular guest on the program. So for those who are listening right now and who are enjoying Camelia's discussions, just FYI, she is a Tuesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. Central regular guest on the show, and she's been one since the very beginning, so we appreciate her very much. Make sure you click like and subscribe to the channel so that you can hear from CJ on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we do like to play a little game that we call Make Camelia Blush.
Oh, no.
Now, here's the thing, Camelia, and I don't want to be too crass or anything like that, but we noticed the other day, Stephanie and I, this photograph that you posted on Facebook. Now, I'm going to pull the photograph up, and the audience won't be able to hear you when I go to this different scene, but I just want the audience to see this. Looks like you were dressed very nicely at a holiday party the other day. If the audience could take a look, here we see the lovely Camelia. Now, listen, you can't see below a certain line here, but you can see Camelia in a very nice dress. Now, I've never seen Camelia wear outfits like these. Looks just perhaps a tad more snug than we're used to. Camelia, are you abandoning your traditional conservative Mennonite roots and starting to dress a little bit more salacious these days? What are you trying to advertise for here?
Oh, well, some things, but I'll tell you the most important thing about the dress in that picture, and ladies, I know you will be able to relate, is you go into a store and you go in there looking for a shirt, but then you have to look at the dresses too, because you like dresses. And so, find a dress, you think, oh, maybe that you go try it on. And it's like, instantly that that works. And so the best thing about it though, $22. It was a deal, baby. And that is the most important part.
Okay, well, I've been seeing a lot of posts from Pearly things lately where she's been talking about. So Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson's daughter, posted a photograph of herself after she just given birth.
Yes.
And she was topless, right? But you couldn't see her breasts. I mean, there was a suggestion of breast, but not like full breasts. It wasn't like her nipples were hanging out or anything like that.
I saw it, yeah.
And Pearl is saying that this is really not how a mother should be dressing. So I'm just curious, and let me just real quick before you answer this, let me just pull the photograph here. Here we have. See this nice little snug, I will say snug. I won't say tight, although it is somewhat tight. I will say a snug little outfit. What would you say to Pearly things if she told you that's not how a mother should be dressing?
I would say that, we don't all have to dress in flour sacks like Pearl does. So, okay. And, maybe you're, what kind of figure you have helps too. So, whatever, Pearl.
Oh, God. Okay. Very funny. It reminds me of that I Love Lucy episode where they all dress up. Everybody's like trying to do the designer dress thing and they all dress in burlap sacks. I don't know if anybody remembers that episode of I Love Lucy. But anyways, Camelia, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners before we let you go?
Well, if you're in the Jefferson County area tonight and you want to see another dress, be wearing another dress tonight at Johnny's Hideout. Come on out. You can say hi, if that's what floats your boat. But I will say, I wanted to say that Remso's segment earlier, I think this whole spiel on America's hoe phase has got to be like the best thing I have heard all week. That's so great.
Today's show has been very funny. And it's another good reason why the 300 people who are watching us live should like and subscribe to the channel. Camelia Peterson, we won't see you until after Christmas, next Thursday. So a week from now, we'll be out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Merry Christmas to you. We appreciate you very much.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a good one. That's Camelia Peterson. Let's give it up.
Oh, thank you, Frederick.
You're welcome.
How do I look?
Ethel, you never looked better in your life.
We're certainly attracting attention. Do you think maybe these outfits are a little too extreme?
No, honey, on you it looks great.
That was, yes, that was I Love Lucy. The episode where Lucy and, was it Ethel? Lucy and Ethel showed up to the event because Ricky and Fred tricked them into thinking that wearing burlap sacks was the latest fashion, and everybody was staring at them. They felt terrible. And then later on the show, all of the ladies who saw them wearing that came dressed up like that. I thought it was really good stuff. How are we doing today? Front page of rumble.com. Glad to have you here. I'm Austin Peterson. If this is your first time watching the Wake Up America show, we're glad and thankful to have you here. Do me a favor, click that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you guys come back and join us. Tomorrow, actually, Eric Wilson live over in the Rumble chat is saying, is AP having the show tomorrow? The answer is yes. We will have a show tomorrow. Freedom Family Friday. So make sure you come back and join us right here tomorrow morning. We are going to have a lot of fun. I've already got some really great topics to talk about with Stephanie. My smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife will be joining us, along with a special guest. And we are going to be doing Christmas karaoke songs. So it is a Christmas karaoke, and we always do it as a little bit of a fundraiser. So if you have song requests, be ready to shell out. But if you guys would like to get something for your money, don't forget to, we've got some awesome Founding Flavors coffee, our exclusive coffee brand available at ap4libertyshop.com. We're all out of garden assault gnomes. Don't be sad. But if you are still interested in getting one, just send me a text and let me know that you are interested in getting one of the assault gnomes. Because we had 20 of them, we sold them out in 2 days, and I don't know how many more people might actually be interested, so I don't want to spend a bunch of money and buy some if they're not going to sell, right? That's always the challenge when you're a small business. But don't worry, we have got endless supplies of Founding Flavors coffee, except for Martha's Mint. Remember, Martha's Mint goes away after Christmas. So if you have been interested in getting some of our peppermint flavored coffee, you want to head over to ap4libertyshop.com today and order some Martha's Mint. If you order Martha's Mint coffee, you can get some before it goes away. So check it out over at ap4libertyshop.com. Head over there, get yourself some delicious Martha's Mint coffee. Yep, our Christmas, now I have a machine gun sweater is going away. Trumpy Buddha is going to stick around. We've got some. I make these, by the way, made in the United States by me, Trumpy Buddhas. And of course, our awesome All-American, also made in America, custom metal signs. You can get God Bless America signs. You can choose an AR-15, AK-47, SCAR, sniper rifle, custom steel signs. So if you like the rifles, but maybe you're not a fan of that particular rifle, well, you can customize it. Choose which kind of rifle you want, which color you want. It can be gold, it can be black. Let's say you want black. Let's say you want it at 24 inches. That's a big one. Put it outside of your barn or whatever you like. Come and take it, perhaps underneath it, whatever sign you want. It can be a 50 cal, American sniper rifle, Russian sniper rifle, hunting rifle, SCAR, M4, AR-15, and AK-47. Again, customize it to whatever it is that you want and then buy 5 of them at once. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yes. All sorts of custom metal signs. And of course, we've got lots of great stuff over there for you. T-shirts, pretty much anything you can want. Patriotic merchandise at ap4libertyshop.com. That's AP, the number 4, ap4libertyshop.com. All right, you guys ready to hear from Javier Milei? Yes. Okay, well, we'll hear from Javier Milei very briefly right after this message when we get back on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Goose Lodge in Jamestown, Kansas, your home away from home. Choose the comfort and privacy of our individual rooms, each equipped with its very own locking door and en-suite facilities. Or bring the whole family and make memories in our communal space. Snuggle up on our plush recliners or share a meal around the dining table that comfortably seats 8. Our kitchen is armed with everything you need, from a microwave to a full-size fridge. For a bird's eye view, book the Eagle's Nest. Enjoy the privacy, storage space, and its very own toilet and shower. For just $450 a night, reserve the entire lodge. Perfect for reunions or retreats, accommodating up to 8 guests. And remember, Snow Goose Lodge is a haven for kids and dogs alike. So bring the whole family. Book your stay now and get 20% off your first booking using the code WAKEUP.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells and bobtail ring, making spirit bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. Welcome to Wake Up America Show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. We're glad and thankful to have you here. Is everybody having fun today? Good. Appreciate you very much. Can I ask you one big favor? Can you do me one? Not just click like and subscribe, because I think that should be kind of obvious, right? You should definitely like and subscribe. Why are you watching the show and you haven't liked and subscribed yet? You? Thank you, Greta. Finally, you come in for some good use, right? Do we even know what's going on anymore?
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was excuse me.
Yes. You're just tuning in to the Wake Up America Show. We're glad to have you here today. You can text the show at 573-319-1586. That's 573 319-1586. All right. Here's the favor. So Stephanie and I, we work on this show, the Wake Up America show, both of us, and we write emails, we send out emails, we send out social media posts, we write advertising, we do Instagram posts and try and get content. We do everything we can to try and grow the show. But there's one thing that we haven't done yet to try and grow our audience and try and grow the show. And I know some of you are going to say, when I ask you for this favor, you're going to say no. Totally fine. But as my mom always said, she says, Austin, if you don't ask, you don't get. So here's what I'd like to ask. My ask is, will you please sign up for our text messaging alerts? No.
God!
I promise.
No, God,
Okay,
please,
okay.
No!
I understand. Okay,
No!
listen. Please, calm down and hear me out, okay? If you don't want text messaging alerts, it's fine. Don't sign up for text messaging alerts. But for those of you, for example, who already buy products from AP for Liberty Shop, our text alerts will do things, not just like send you a text message like, hey, check out our cool new metal gun keychain or whatever, and like coupons and things. But we'll also be letting you know about alerts like, hey, the new documentary is dropping next week, or hey, special guest on the show tomorrow, this person you might want to know to give you an update on what's going to happen on the show. And also, if you already buy products from the shop, you will get things like alerts when your package ships and when your package arrives and things like that. So can I ask you for that favor? Okay, fine. Thank you. I don't think it's much, and I'm not going to text you every single day. Okay, so here's the link. I just dropped it in the chat. Sign up for our show and shop's text alerts right there over on the Rumble chat. And I'm going to post that over at my Twitter account. If you're not watching us on Rumble this morning for whatever reason, I'm posting it over to my AP for Liberty account right now. Sign up for our show and shop's text alerts here. I just tweeted it right now over at AP for Liberty on Twitter or X.com, whatever. I still think of it as Twitter. Okay, you guys ready to hear from Javier Milei? I know. Okay, let's hear from Javier Milei. Okay, Javier Milei. Argentina's newly elected president has announced that he plans to change the country's economic system by deregulating it using his presidential powers. Oh, yeah. All the socialists out there are like,
How dare you?
I know, they're angry, and I love it. If this was in the United States, they'd be sending them in. Exactly. I know many of you, that's scary, right? He says that he aims to change more than 300 regulations to lay the foundation for the reconstruction of the Argentine economy and restore freedom and autonomy to individuals, removing the state from their shoulders. God bless you. It's so beautiful. So here I am going to translate for you the lovely words, the soothing sounds, the ASMR of Javier Milei. Today is a historic day for our country. After decades of failures, impoverishment, decadence, and anomie, today we formally begin the path of reconstruction. Since we assumed office only 8 business days ago, we have been focused on trying to contain the enormous crisis which we inherited. For that reason, we designed a shock stabilizations plan that included a fiscal adjustment program, an exchange rate policy that would stay true to the exchange rate and the value market, and a monetary policy that includes the healing of the central bank. We are doing our utmost to try to reduce the tragic effects of what may be the worst crisis in our history, of governments that have existed with a failed recipe, because as we have been saying for months, the problem is not the chef, but the recipe. Those ideas that failed in Argentina are the same ideas that have failed throughout the planet, because everywhere they have been tried, they've been an economic failure. They have been a social failure. They have been a cultural failure. And on top of that, it has cost the lives of millions of human beings. Let's give them an applause. Pause for applause. Danelle, too, looks like the very first time you've joined us here this morning. Good morning, Danelle. Glad to have you here. Says Javier seems pretty good. God bless him. Oh, we love to hear that. And God bless you, Danelle. I'm sure he appreciates your prayers. Mighty Megatron, first time seeing you as well in the chat. Nice to see all the new names and faces. Do me a favor, guys. Click subscribe to the channel. Says Milei won't be able to get much done until their Congress is cleaned of the leftover socialists and Peronists from the previous administration. Well, Megatron, you might actually like to hear this because Milei actually successfully put together a majority coalition with another faction in their parliament to get things done. Unbelievable. In 8 business days. And he shut down 9 government agencies already. I'm going to break my cheer button there. So I'll tell you what, I'll hit the evil laugh button. How about the Joe Biden perv button?
Look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed.
No! God, oh God, no. No, Joe. That's enough there. Anyways, let's continue hearing from our friend Javier. He says that some doctrine that some could call left-wing socialism, doctrine, communism,